it doesn't matter what field you're on, you're going to have a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So only the strong survive over there because there's so much competition over everything.
Welcome to Download Success, a podcast where we sit down with business owners and entrepreneurs and discuss life, strategies to manifest success, and the ugly truth about running a business.
Are you ready?
Yo. I'm Chris. I'm your host for Download Success. I'm also a small business owner here in the Central Kentucky area, the owner of Cornerstone Masons, your go-to custom design and masonry company.
And I'm Phil, your co-host and executive producer of Download Success. But in real life, IRL, I run a full-service custom web design company based in Lexington, Kentucky, Click Factory.
Are you ready?
Well, we're back for yet another awesome episode. You found episode 105. And, Chris, I've been thinking this week that as business owners, we carry a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, not just for ourselves and our families, but for our team and our business as a whole. And when that happens, at least for me personally, I found that it creates a lot of fear inside that we have to manage and try to overcome in order to move our business forward.
Yeah, and there's two types of fear. They talk about 1,000 forms of fear, but I can kind of get it down to two types, right? It's a fear of losing what I have or a fear of not getting what I want. And I do suffer from fear from time to time. What I've found is just having faith that ultimately it's going to work itself out. The surrender process to that has been kind of difficult for me, but as I continue to move forward as a business owner and watch things transpire and work themselves out, I get a little bit more comfortable in trusting that God's going to come through at the end.
So true. That's awesome, man. Well, we've got an awesome guest today. When we asked him to define success, his response was simply overcoming fear.
Overcoming fear.
So let's meet him, everybody. Welcome Angel from United Contracting.
What's up, Angel?
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. So I'm just going over some of your notes here. It says that you guys started your business back in 2017. I guess you and your brother.
Yeah. The end of it. It was, we started in October. We didn't really know where we're going, man. And, just been growing ever since then. I guess the way we started, I kind of been in my life in retail. Like I used to work for, some of the wireless carriers, AT&T, Verizon, et cetera. And my brother he's always been kind of like in the construction side. Mm-hmm. And he's not very social. But he's a very smart guy, man. He's very detail oriented, and he knows how the things, the way they should be, they should run as far as construction goes. Mm-hmm. And, back in 2017, I kind of was let go from AT&T. Just don't, go to your job, don't be late. So yeah. Just telling everyone that. And then he's like, hey, man, looks like you could talk to people really easy, and, you've been sales all your life. So why don't you start this business with me? I was like, well, I don't really have any money, man. I don't know. I mean,
a little important.
Yeah, man. So I was like, well, obviously, you have to have your savings and whatnot. So he kind of gave me a little bit of feedback on what needed to be done. And, we didn't really have an office or what. So I worked in the roofing business with him for like a month or two. Kind of got the hang of it. I was okay.
Well, out in the field.
Yeah. It was challenging, man. Coming from being in a building with AC on all day long, just talking to people. Going to like construction, like that was like, well, that's something I don't want to do every day.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. No, it's tough work, and I can relate. I think whenever Philip and I started this deal, we didn't have a dime to our name. I just jumped out on faith. But what we did have was I had the experience in the field, and Philip had experience in marketing and just the social aspect of it as far as dealing with customers. And as far as the way that you guys got your business, because you said you didn't have any money, can you give me a little bit of the approach that you took as far as going in?
So I guess the approach that we took, man, after, I worked in the roofing business, like actually doing it for like, almost 2 months. Mm-hmm. I got my hand on a little bit of money, and we kind of went out and bought a little truck. Well, we still have it. We actually put it in our office, Louisville now. And we bought the truck. We kind of got it wrapped up. We still didn't really have a logo or anything like that. We just kind of put roofing on it. And I started getting talking to friends and went, hey, we're doing this, blah, blah, blah. But nobody really want to give us a shot. Hey, you guys are brand new.
Yeah.
I don't want my roof installed by somebody that is I don't want to be your guinea pig.
Yeah.
So, man, honestly, we know what we were doing. Give us a shot, whatever. But one of my coworkers, man, he used to play for UK football. Mm-hmm. His name is Trevino Woods. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yeah,
so he was the first customer that I had as far as putting a full-on roof on.
Wow.
And, shout out to him for giving us a shot, man. And
for sure.
Absolutely.
So we went out, man, and it turned out that the roof on his house was completely it was done. We had to exchange all the wood over there. So it turned out to be a big project. He wasn't really expecting that. And I was like, hey, man, I don't want to do a roof that is supposed to last you for 30 years. If we do it the way that it is now, probably give you 5 or 6 years. And,
sure.
So it turned out to be a big project. We used it for a lot of marketing. We just kept posting the same project for a month, man, right. Until we started getting more projects in. And finally, more people start calling in, man. More friends got a hold of me and whatnot. And then, we finally got a little bit more money. Mm-hmm. And we're just kind of investing everything back into the business.
Sure.
And then after a few months, my phone finally started ringing just from people calling me hey, man, I need a repair, blah, blah, blah. So, and then, finally I got busy enough to where I brought a friend in. His name is Matt Acosta. He's been with us since the beginning. And, man, it's just kind of hard to explain everything that goes into it, but you just got to put your heart into it, man, and believe in what you're doing. And, once you do that, everything's just going to play out.
Yeah.
That's right.
And to do the next right thing, right? And like what you were talking about, I just went and just here recently went and visited a project, and they wanted to take the cheaper route out. And at the end of the day, we can come in and put a Band-Aid on it, which we can't warranty that.
Yeah,
if this is what the customer, and I just try to deter them away from going that direction. But I think one of the most important directions that I went whenever I first went into business was continue to invest everything that came back into the business. We started out with 25, 30-year-old vehicles that continued to need maintenance. And that was one of our biggest issues moving forward that I can remember, was just keeping vehicles on the road, because we were always hauling a trailer or, taking off a bunch of debris. And it just took and put a lot of wear and tear. And like what you had mentioned before, there's a lot that does go into it. And for us to sit down here and put it all out here, we just can't. There's a ton that goes into it. But I followed you guys on social media, and your social media presence is just phenomenal. The way that you respond to your customers, and I've sat back and watched you guys grow. I thought you'd been around for a little while longer than you had, and I've seen your trucks around Lexington.
Yeah.
You've got your logo out there, which it's a rolling billboard, and
for sure.
Yeah. So word of mouth. I know that you said word of mouth was one of your biggest marketing tools.
Yeah, because we're not really out there knocking doors like most roofing companies. Because we're just, we're just so busy, which is good, and that just kind of goes to tell you that you're doing something right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I don't have time to make phone calls, that's a good sign. I still have to. I make time. I've got to stay on top of that, because otherwise my pipeline will dwindle.
Yeah.
So I try to make time to, I don't knock doors, because I'm a digital marketing company.
Hey, digitally, you are knocking doors though.
Yeah, digitally. Yeah. That's right.
That's kind of what everybody's trying to do now.
So phone calls that's how I do it. If I'm not making phone calls or calling on the people that, just touching base with people I've talked to in the past.
Yeah.
That's how I have to do it. If I'm not doing that, then my pipeline will dwindle, and I'll start noticing sales decline.
What we started to do, and this is something that we started 5 months ago, we actually hire an inside salesperson.
Nice.
Sweet.
So how does that work? Basically, once I come out, Phil, Phil calls me, hey, come, can you come check out my roof and give an inspection, whatever. I'll come out, do the inspection, and I'll come down, show you the pictures. Say, hey, man, you really need to do this. This is what we need to do. I'm going to send you the estimate. So I'll send to your email. You'll probably get it right on the spot, or you'll get it the same day. We try to be as proficient as you can with that.
Yep.
So you have that. And then if you don't, if I don't hear from you 1 or 2 days later on, I give your folder to that person. And that person, they don't call you, they'll text you, or you'll get an email. Because coming from the wireless market at AT&T and Verizon, obviously those guys have done the research. They know what it works. So when we used to follow up on customers, we would text them.
Nice.
So, you can text you, or, you would text me back if you're interested on your own time. I don't want to bother you with your work.
Sure.
And then once you reply, then we'll just be like, hey, can I give you a call, whatever, just to kind of go talk about the process. We already assumed the sale because you're just for the simple fact that you reply. You could have been like, oh, I'm good. I'll find somebody else, whatever.
Sure.
So you reply back to us. We'll call you. We'd set something back up, and then we'll come out again if we have to. And, we'll just close the deal. And if you lost the job, you lost the job. No harm done.
Sure.
So
I like that strategy, and I think one of the biggest issues I had, because I'm not an aggressive salesperson.
Yeah.
If you call the phones at Cornerstone Masons, we offer a service. You're looking for us to provide a service for you, and we'll go out and give an estimate. This is what we provide, and this is a solution to what's going on here. As far as follow-up calls, I typically don't do that, but I like that.
Yeah.
Just shoot a text message out and say, hey, are you still interested, or did you get our estimate?
Yeah, and we never try to say the word follow up. We just feel like somebody's already trying to sell you something. Like we're trying to be like, hey, I'm just following up on so hey, just checking. One of our guys come out and check your project out, and that's just something that we stress highly on.
Interesting.
On the inside
I like
salesperson. So it's more personable, man.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it works for us. So
Yeah.
I might try that actually. Sorry. Go.
No, No, that's a different approach than what we had taken, right? I just kind of, if we give an estimate, I feel like if that's something that you want to move forward with, you'll give me a call back. Something that's always been a pet peeve of mine is we get a bunch of spam calls.
Oh yeah,
They're horrible, and then
you take credit cards. Can I give you this whole thing? And I want to pay you in a full advance. Get out of here, man.
Get out of here.
You're blocked.
Yeah, man. So I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So we just, and we've been blessed, 3.5 years in.
So we're in the same age, man, basically. We're still toddlers.
Yeah, we're baby business owners, man. This is all new. So I was talking to Philip before you got here about the pandemic and when COVID hit and all that craziness happened, and we blew up.
Oh, so did we, man.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, it's because everybody's home.
Yeah.
Everybody's home. They're just looking at their house all day long. Like, oh, that's broken. I'm going to fix that. And then same thing happened with the roofs, man. People didn't like the colors. People didn't like, just petty stuff. I'll come out and take a look at it. And then obviously, being the professionals that we are, we'll do a full-on inspection and we find things that they didn't know they had. And we'll take a full approach from taking pictures, taking notes, blah, 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 making a report. Once we send them that report, they just want to do a bunch of things and just turn out making a small call into a big job.
Yeah,
sure.
But I mean, that was great because everybody was home, everybody was calling us, everybody's doing home office. Usually when nowadays everybody's kind of like, hey, I need you to stop by at around 6:00, or can you come by if you want to meet me? It'll be like we're closed by that time. We can't really do that.
Yeah,
and man. I mean, I agree with you. I feel like a lot of construction business blew up.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that we benefited off that tremendously. Overcoming fear, you said that was a definition of success. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, man. I mean, overcoming fear to us was starting the business. We weren't really I don't know, man. Like, how do you call somebody that starts a bunch of businesses? Entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't really the entrepreneur guys. I mean, me and my brother, we don't really have the education that is needed. So we always kind of taught that that's something that you needed to become somebody, influential. I'm not saying I'm influential by any means, but it's just kind of we were scared, man. To start doing something that you only see people that look, that have a really good education. And we were just man, let's just go full on. So I guess overcoming that and then overcoming the fact that at the beginning we did knock doors and it was scary, man. Every time I pull into somebody's house, you don't know who you're going to get.
Right.
But, you started the chat. Hey, I noticed you're missing some shingles. You want a free inspection, whatever. They'll shut the door in my face, man. And, that was hurtful. But then, with the time, started to wash it off, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you're probably going to be calling next day or what. And it's happened before, man. Like, hey, I shut the door in your face, but, you want to come back and give me a free inspection? Like, it's happened before, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, with that, it's just, I guess just starting out, it's not easy. And I'm sure you're going to attest to that.
Yeah. I think finding, I know it was you and your brother that started, and I had a couple of guys in the field with me, but I was the mason out there. I remember letting this guy go one time, and it was just a lot of stuff that was going on. And he said, how are you going to run a masonry company? You don't have any masons. I said, I am the mason.
Yeah.
And I went out there and bumped and grind. Phil can attest to that. And just, because I just have a really high standard as far as masonry is concerned.
Yeah.
And, what was passed down to me isn't passed down to a lot of the guys that are in the trade right now.
Yeah.
Unless they've been established for a little while. But just finding good help in the beginning was really tough for me.
Yeah.
Now we've got a great crew in the field, but that took some time, and that took me out there in the trenches too. So just trying to figure some things out. And then, so what I've done this year is come out of the field. I haven't been in the field in almost a year, so this office aspect of the business is completely new to me.
Yeah.
It was about like when you went out into the field, with your brother to get on a roof. I have a clue what I was doing here.
Yeah.
So just figuring it out as I go.
I mean, it helps a lot now that you got a lot of people on YouTube making content like this, videos, and, they'll walk you through the steps of what they do. So doing that, man, it's just great.
That's something I was going to ask you about, because I see you guys are always posting content on social media, videos, and they look professionally done.
Yeah.
See, I do a lot of that too, and I know how time consuming that is.
Yeah.
So is that something that you do in house? Do you have somebody on staff that does that, or do you do it?
No. See, like I started to do it at the beginning, and then we brought my cousin from Mexico. We're from Monterrey, so it's a big city. It's like 8 million people, man.
Wow.
So you got a lot of professionals there. So it doesn't matter what field you're on. You're going to have a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm, sure.
So only the strong survive over there because there's so much competition over everything. So he became a photographer, and then his wife is a digital creator or something. She designs things like, how do you call those people? They basically make anything. Like if you have a logo that you want to create it, she will create it for you. Well, I don't know. I can't think of that word. So he reached out to us like, hey, man, I would love to maybe come over there and see if I can help you guys doing that. And, we couldn't do it at the beginning. Obviously, we didn't have the funds to do it. And now, we're able to, kind of give him the opportunity. So we brought him here. I mean, he doesn't really like speak English. We're trying to help him out to learn English now. And so he basically, but you don't need that to make a video.
Right.
So as long as, it's all visual.
Right.
So once he does that, then we'll get a hold of the video, and then we'll sit with him and just type in whatever we need to type in and edit it that way. But he was flown to Cancun. His strongest point was gastronomic pictures. So like chefs or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was flown to Cancun to take pictures of those guys on the resorts. So we were like, I think we got somebody good in our family.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So let's bring him out here, man. And obviously we can't have him full time. So he's been working with one of our buddies as far as doing painting and drywall. So he's kind of learning a new trade, and he's still doing what he loves, and he's still with family. And I think it was a good investment for us to do.
Absolutely. I was going to say, so being in digital marketing myself, this comes up in conversation a lot as far as, well, how often do I need to be posting on social media? What should I post on social media? I get these questions all the time, and the general answer is post as much as you can, and it doesn't matter what you're posting.
That's correct.
Because the main point is you just want to be getting in front of people. As far as most people don't know this, is the average amount of times that you need to communicate with a potential customer. And when I say communicate, I mean just being in front of them. That could be a video or a picture on Facebook, Instagram. That could be a phone call or a text message. But the average amount of times you have to communicate with your prospect is 8 times before you will get the sale, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's the average. Sometimes you'll
That's costly.
Yes. So that goes to show you that you need to be posting on social media all the time, which as we know is time consuming in and of itself because it takes so long to make this content.
Yeah. But once you get the hang of it, you gotta know what you're posting.
Yeah.
I mean, to us, it's like cutting the grass.
Right.
If you don't cut the grass, your house is gonna look ugly.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can cut the grass once a week, every day.
Yep.
Your house is gonna look immaculate. And anybody that visits our Facebook or Instagram, these guys just posted yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of go dive in and to see what we posted. And, you don't know what they're finding. I mean, whether it's masonry, whether it's roofing, whether there's, construction, whatever. It just looks great.
And you guys handled more than just roofing, right?
We do siding. We do a little bit of masonry. Not like you guys. I mean, you guys take on full-on projects. Siding, and there's a lot of projects that we turn down, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll come out and, if it's not for us, it's not for us. And, you'll get an email like, hey, love to help you out, but can't take on your project. This is what we recommend. If you want to go this route, then we're your company. Otherwise, we're not a good fit for you.
That was something else that I wanted to touch on. Is because I want to take care of everything and everybody. Yeah. And it's tough for me sometimes to go in and say, hey, this just isn't a right fit for us. You know, and I think a lot of people for us gets masonry because it's broad. You've got brick mason, block mason, stone mason, then you've got a concrete mason. And we'll get calls for concrete work, and we'll do small repairs or something like that. But we're not going to take on full-blown concrete projects. We're not equipped to, first and foremost.
Yeah,
and that's not where my expertise lies. I want to give 110% whenever I come in and do any type of project. So that if I can't, then I'm going to pass it up. But not only that, I think we got so busy. I got too big for my britches, so to speak, right? The infrastructure wasn't in place to be able to manage and maintain all the work that had started to come in.
Yeah.
Our phones were ringing off the hook, and I'm trying to get to everything, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. So, and then it just created that much more stress. Have you guys got to that point, and how did you transition and adjust to and adapt to change as you continue to grow?
Well, we just keep on bringing more people, man. Like when it was just me and my brother, he was just me taking on calls. And then the next step was like, hey, we need a secretary. We brought her in, start hanging more calls. We start getting more calls in. And then right now we've got about 8 sales reps.
Nice.
Here in the Lexington office. And we got about 5 in the Louisville office. And the way we train them a full month in our office. First of all, if they're gonna last, that you'll find out within that month.
Yep.
But it's all constant reading. It's all taking them out, talking to customers, kind of giving that knowledge on how to talk to customers. You want to have people that has the most common sense as possible. If they don't have it, then you'll know, man. Yep. And you obviously it's your company. Yeah. Somebody's going to wear your shirt in your company. You want somebody that's going to leave a good impression. So we just try to bring the best talent that we can find out there, man.
Yeah.
So as far as growing, bring more people in. Don't be scared. I mean, if you're scared because you can't pay them, trust me, it's going to be a good investment. The more people that you bring, the more they're going to be able to do. They have their own network, so they're going to bring more business to you. So they're going to be paying themselves.
On these, and we implemented weekly meetings when we first got started. I think they're so important just to be able to kind of go back and touch on what's going on here, not just where we fall short, but where our strengths at, and try to capitalize on those strengths. But also to be able to identify, because if I can identify a problem, we can start working towards a solution. And those meetings gave us an opportunity to sit down and just go over a lot of different things that was going on in the field, but it also allowed me to get to know the individual on a more personal level, which was really important for me, right? Because if somebody or something's not going the way that I think that it should in the field, It could stem from so many different areas, whether it be something that's going on at personal. But how important is that in your business? Is your meetings weekly?
Well, we do bi-weekly meetings. Well, we have bi-weekly only like sales only meetings. And then at the end of the month, we have like a full-on blown company meeting. We're not that big, guys. We're not, I'm not talking about like 100 people in the meeting, It's like, you got like, it's about 20 people. But that is very important because if anybody's got a bone to pick with anybody within the company, that is a very healthy way to bring it out.
Sure.
Like, hey, Phil, I didn't like the way you handled this call that we had the other day. Like, then everybody kind of gives them their feedback. Well, he did it because this happened. Or I feel I did it because this was the scenario. So a lot, there's always going to be something where not everybody's going to be happy.
Sure.
But, if you got, your side of the story in front of everyone and everyone kind of gives you feedback, not only you're going to understand it better, but that's kind of what we're trying to focus on, man, because sometimes it's hard to keep a lot of people on the same building, and just kind of make them be happy. So we just try to keep the best atmosphere that we can. And, as far as numbers goes, everybody's kind of like, talk about what they're doing good, their best practices, and just kind of rub ups on everyone. Last month, we probably had the best month we've ever had as a company.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Think about like when we first started from October to December, our numbers was 100,000 I would say a quarter, right? Last month we closed in like 600,000 in sales in 1 month.
Congratulations.
Yeah, this is just in the Lexington office. So,
wow.
So it's great, man. And that's why it helps. And having those meetings, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's just amazing, dude. Like everybody comes out of the meeting like, oh, I'm a new person, man. Like I'm ready to sell. I'm ready to do what he just said that to do that is working for him.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's just good energy, man.
I think coming into this thing, I try to take a lot of this on myself.
Yeah.
So to be and micromanage a lot of it, and now I'm in a position to where I've kind of letting the guys in the field manage, and so to learn how to manage. And this is all new to me. I've been in the field for 30 years.
Yeah.
As far as the business aspect of it is concerned, I don't have a clue.
It's another animal, man.
It's another animal in itself. So.
Yeah. So are you like actually like visiting the properties or?
I am. So I touch on each project.
Okay.
Every one of them. I'll go when I first go to initially bid the job. I'm still doing the bid work, and then in the middle.
Yeah.
And then at the end, just touch and make sure that it's where it needs to be. But as far as picking up a trowel, I haven't picked up a trowel in over a year.
Okay.
So coming into the office, the physical aspect of it was gone, and I didn't feel like I was really producing a lot. So to transition, it's still difficult because I'm used to being in the physical aspect of the work. And to use my brain instead of my back is a different. It's different. So
it is different, man.
Yeah,
that's wild. But it's gonna get a time to where you're gonna have to delegate a lot of that stuff too.
I was gonna say you're not getting any younger.
I know. So another thing and I've shared this on here before. I just took on my son full time too by myself. So it's almost God's way of saying, hey, take a step back, trust me.
Yeah.
And let me take care of things out there. If you'll just trust me, take care of what's in front of you, everything else is going to take care of itself. And that's what's happened this year. So, up until this point, there's been a lot of, it's just been stressful. This year it's went smooth. I don't really focus on the what ifs. We just do what's in front of us, do the next right thing, be attentive to our customers, what they want.
Yeah.
And then just be professional. Everything else takes care of itself. I was so consumed with trying to control the outcome of everything. It created so much stress in my life.
Yeah.
Now I just give it to God, man. God takes care of the rest of it. Just have faith that he's going to come through and he didn't bring me this far to drop me off.
Yeah.
And it's worked. Like it's worked itself out.
So let's talk about that. So, as far as a routine, do you have a daily routine for yourself, for your guys?
Well, it's changed a lot, man. Not a lot of people know this, but 2 years ago, I used to weigh 344 pounds.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a picture here that I can show you, man. That was my peak. I wrecked 2 of our trucks, company trucks, totaled them because I was falling asleep on the wheel, man.
Oh my gosh!
You know, the third time is charm, so I wasn't gonna let that happen.
Which stemmed from what was the sleep apnea?
Yeah. Sleep apnea.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, obviously, healthcare here is really expensive, so I went to Mexico. Yeah, man. I was like, hey, might as well use my Mexican car here. So I went over there, man, and they did a little study on me. That's not even like my
Holy
biggest
cow.
point. Yeah.
Wow. I would have never guessed, man.
Yeah. So, man, I would get up, man, and I would just see, eat breakfast, McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then I already like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Oh, where am I going to eat?
Yeah.
It was bad, man. It was crazy. And, being a roofer, that doesn't really go hand in hand. But, after the second break, it was eye opening.
Mm-hmm.
I went down to Mexico, did a full on treatment. Like they did a study on me.
Mm-hmm.
Each night, I would be lucky if I sleep 1 hour in a row, man.
Oh.
So after I did a study, I woke up around 78 times in 1 hour.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That's
Think
wild.
about going to sleep and then waking up. Going to sleep and waking up. It was crazy, man. The doctor was like, man, you're this close to get a stroke.
Yep.
So
I was going to say.
yeah, so I had to put on my chest. I had to sleep with the machine, man, with a little elephant looking thing.
Yep.
But thanks to that, I was able to get rest, go to the gym and work out. And I've been doing that for the last 2 years. So now my routine is we wake up around 5:30, and then just kind of go to the gym, whatever. I don't really work out a lot, man. I just kind of run, walk, whatever. Just stay active.
Sure.
And then from there on, man, just whatever. Just being at the office, calling people, talking to customers, doing inspections or whatever. So we don't really have anything that, being in this industry, man, you can't really plan anything.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you can.
To an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, not too much.
How is it scheduling jobs for you guys? That's something that I've really struggled with up until this year, where we've gotten on point with that. We've been able to say, I was just afraid to tell a customer, hey, we can be here at this certain day, because I never knew weather. And did you have some of those issues as well?
So obviously you already have your production that is kind of moving by itself. So the one thing we learn a lot in one of the, because we travel a lot to like other roofing events. So when we try to meet other contractors from other states, man. So we became really good friends with those other contractors in Atlanta, and they kind of give us some pointers. So I guess going back to what you're asking, the best answer that we found to be, we tell customers we can be here anywhere between 18 to 22 business days, weather permitting.
Weather permitting, yeah.
So that alone would buy you probably a full-on month before you can be there.
Yeah.
And then as far as production goes, you got to take on whatever, small repairs are going to take you a quarter of a day. Well, when I say days, 8 to 5 or 8 to 6. How many small repairs can you do in one day? Do those first so you can focus on the big stuff, for the rest of the week or whatever. So big projects, we try to start them on a Wednesday, and it's weird, man. We got this weird, cycling thing that we do. So we've had repairs from customers that, they're missing 2 shingles and it's leaking.
Yep.
And then production comes back to me like, hey, we'll be there this afternoon, man. Like, hey, we'll be there tomorrow morning. Some customers are blown away like, whoa, that fast?
Yeah.
It's just the way that we're working on it, So get those out. People that have a big project, they know that. So they know they're going to have to wait. So it's not as painful to them to wait.
Yeah.
So that's how we schedule the things, man. We don't, it's not really, something that everybody's going to have a system for.
Sure. Yeah. We've always got guys that, especially with our chimneys, whether it's flashing, and we usually sub that out.
Yeah.
Then we're doing a Kroger's down in Winchester right now, where they've got some flat work that needs to be done. And, it's just when you find a good contractor, hold on to them.
To them, yeah.
Just people that are honest. And you guys have stuck around and have grown exponentially since I've watched you.
Yeah.
I've been following you. Y'all have grown a ton, so that just lets me know that you're out there doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And providing a quality product. And that's the business owners that stick around, the businesses that stick around. So,
well, I guess what helps a lot to contractors, we use a lot these apps called Company Cam. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So, or production managers, which is 3 of them. Every time they get to a job, obviously you have unlimited storage for Company Cam, but they just start shooting pictures away, man. Boom, boom, boom. So that allows, the production team in Lexington to like look at every single picture of what's going on, of what's going on.
Wow.
So, and it's just going to geographically pinpoint whatever project that we're doing. So we know who's there and we know how the job's going, and they can take notes and put it in there. The job's going well, we're stopping, going to lunch. So it's just constantly giving us updates. So in a way, you're kind of micromanaging everything from that app. So it's pretty cool, man. You should try it. I don't know if you have it or not.
I haven't. I came up with that idea. I feel like they stole my idea. Do you remember this?
I do.
So I was in Connecticut. I'm an entrepreneur at heart,
Yeah.
and I'm a visionary. My mind just goes a million miles an hour. And I sent this idea to a patent company, and it didn't follow through. Something happened, and then I look up 2 years later, and they've got Company Cam. Yeah. So they stole my idea, man. They stole my. But no, I love what you're talking about. As far as I don't think micromanaging, but I think with what you're describing, it's almost like an accountability deal, to where it's saying, hey, this is where we're at. This is the progress that we've made.
Yes.
So more accountability.
Yeah.
Which is necessary.
And the cool thing about that is that every, whatever view from those pictures, you can select the best pictures and send them to the customer directly. And then the customer gets those pictures. Like, whoa, I'm at work, but these guys are still sending me. Or, you'll get a link and you'll get to that link.
Yep.
And that will constantly update with wherever we allow to, to display there. We're not going to just, somebody's.
Right.
So does everybody have access to this app? Yeah. So you can upload if you're over here on the south side of Lexington, you've got a crew over here on the north side. You guys are.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of stressing me out, man, because on Thursday, my brother's, hey, we're doing all these projects today because we're going to close for the long weekend. So we had like 6 projects going on, man. So I had to run out, do some of these projects and constantly update the pictures. Yeah. And which I don't mind doing. But I was like, man, I got appointments today. I got to go to houses. I got to go like, dude, you're making me drive all over to Richmond and I got to go to this house in Winchester or whatever. But like that alone there at the end of the day, we're able to go back and see everything that was done and everything that was accomplished for that day, man.
Well, not only is it quote unquote micromanaging, but I mean, you're also able to, just being able to share with the customer creates a better customer experience, which is going to make them feel better about your company, create better trust, and ultimately get better reviews. And then word of mouth is just going to increase. I mean, I don't really see, there's nothing but good stuff.
Yeah,
it sounds like.
I mean, thankfully, we haven't got a single bad review on Google.
Wow,
good for you.
I think we're at I don't know, 140 or.
Dang, man, good.
140. I don't know how many reviews we have, but we haven't had a single bad ones. Hopefully, there's not a hater out there. I don't know if they give up.
Somebody's hearing this right now. Oh,
let me go ahead and get him together.
Take them down.
Yeah, man. So it's just gonna.
How do you initiate that as far as your reviews?
The reviews?
Yeah.
Well, usually once we complete the project, well, first of all, we don't take any money up front from customers. Obviously, if it's like a $50,000 job, then hey, we'll take a quarter of the down payment just for materials. That's a good practice to have with customers. Like, hey, so that means I get to pay you when you're done, and I'm happy. Yeah. Well, that creates a good first report, man.
For sure.
And obviously, just being nice to them as we go with the project, as long as they're behaving. There's some customers that are just a nightmare, from a contractor.
Yep.
And then basically, we try to say it at least 3 times. Like, hey, if you like your job, we really, we love reviews. Give us your feedback. And then throughout the job, we just kind of like, hey, just a reminder, give us a good review whenever we're finished. And, if you're happy with that. There are some projects that you just can't do that. They're just not going right, man. Not every job is going to go your way. And then at the end of the transaction, we just remind them once they give us the last check, like, hey, we'll love a great review. If you give us a feedback, you'll get a credit, like if you,
Sure.
if you like, but we don't tell them what to put, man. Obviously, like, just feel free to give us a review or your feedback. Because we don't really go in, hey, give me a 5-star review. Because then that's just like that's artificially, it's an artificial review that's not going to look good.
Right.
So.
I like what you were saying about, and I had to take deposits in the beginning. We haven't this year, which has eliminated so much stress from my life. I took a deposit because we had to. I didn't have any capital to do anything with. And, I was talking about this on one of the last podcasts as far as going up to a customer and saying, hey, I need $10,000 up front. Yeah. We were fortunate enough to be able to do that, but we did what we said we were going to do, which ultimately led us into a position to where we don't have to take deposits anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
But on top of that, and so I think what was really stressful, when you take a deposit, now you're obligated to this project.
Yeah.
So if I can't get to it for whatever reason, you don't understand, and I'm making all these excuses, which aren't excuses. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
So it was just a freaking nightmare, to take a deposit, and we don't have to do that anymore. And I'm so grateful that we don't. And it does establish trust, because now we're coming in, we're providing the material and the labor. You don't have to come out of pocket until you're absolutely satisfied with the finished product.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you ever had a scenario where, you've done a project for a customer and they don't want to pay you?
A couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've dealt with a couple, not too many. We've been blessed with customers.
Yeah, people here in Lexington, man, they're nice, man.
They're so nice.
Now Louisville, man.
Is it different in Louisville?
Yeah, it's a whole nother. Yeah, it's a beast over there, man. You got your areas there, man. You've done projects. We did a roof over there 2 months ago. It was a little bit of a rough area, and this guy just kind of completely ghosted us, man. He just ghosted us for like 2 months. It wasn't a big roof, man. It was like a, 2,200 square feet roof. And we did it, finished up everything. I tried to follow up with the guy, like, hey, we're done. He answered my call. I'll just try tomorrow. A week went by, 2 weeks went by, a month went by. And he pops up on our CRM like, hey, this guy's late 30 days. And then, I don't know where, man, this guy just kind of like called us and said, hey, man, I'm going to give you, half of this. And I was like, who are you?
Right.
But you give me money. So, but it turned out that he gave us that money, man. And then after that, we just never see the guy again.
So he just gave you half of the money.
Yeah, he just gave me half of the money. And that's the only bad experience I've had in Louisville. But, after hunting the guy down, calling him, texting him, whatever, I guess he just kind of got tired.
Yeah.
But, dude, I don't care. 10 years from now, I'm still going to be texting you. Hey, man. Like,
Right.
Pay me. Yeah. Like,
Well, I had a gentleman that and this is one in particular. I've got a guy that owes me $18,000. He ended up hiring the mason that was working for us. They came in together and ended up coming into some sort of it was some shady stuff.
little third-party agreement or what?
I'm sorry?
Like a little third-party agreement? Kind of kicked you out?
Yeah. So he calls me and he's like, hey, this isn't working out. You've taken too long. We bricked a whole house. I'll show you some photos.
Yeah.
3 bay windows, 3 stories high. We re-bricked this whole building, and 2/3 of the way done, he came to an agreement with the mason that was working for us to do it for a fraction of the price, I'm sure. So that ended bad. And then I made a phone call and agreed to some extra work on a particular project.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the contract. So when we finished the project, he says, I don't recall that conversation. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? But I mean, for the most part, we've had really great customer base. The people that we deal with, we've just been blessed. They're really nice. Like, of course, I have off days too where I'm difficult.
I think we all do.
Yeah, man.
I just do.
Yeah, not only women, but we have our days.
Yeah. Sure.
It's just one of those days that you just wake up and even the coffee tastes bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You're looking at your
Today,
dog.
bro.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Is there anything that we missed that you want to talk about? You did have some things on here. Let me look at this real quick. Let's talk about minorities and expanding in Kentucky.
Well, that's a good topic, man. Lately, there's been a lot of my friends starting their own companies, and not a lot of people see that. But think about the service industry, like as far as kind of what we do. If I've been to Atlanta, man, and I've been to Texas, and we went to some conference as far as like business or whatever. We try, you got to stay in the, you got to keep your education going as far as this goes. 'Cause this is what we do, so we live on. And everyone I meet a lot, whether it was like a cleaning company, a roofing company, construction company, general contractor company. I'm starting to see a lot more Hispanics, man, that like they're coming from doing the work to starting their own company.
Good
man.
for them.
And yeah, it's just kind of like, that's kind of where we fall under that category. And it's just it's expanding, man. It's growing a lot. So if they can do it, I mean, if you got somebody that doesn't speak English, man, and starting a company, it's just that we're like, dude, come on. Like a lot of people here is like, you're born here. You have the opportunity. You speak the language naturally. You can network a lot faster. And why aren't you doing that?
It drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it really does. Just to get people to come to work.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys struggle with this, but Americans they're lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to get up and go to work. I deal with that so much.
And then again, we can blame it on a lot of things, but it's just the work ethic, man. Like here, you got a lot of kids that their parents are buying them everything.
Sure.
And then they grow up to be 30, 40 years old, and who's their parent now? Like, where are they getting all this money that, they don't have to work for? In Mexico, if you don't work, you don't eat, man.
That's how I grew up, right? So
Yeah.
I was just, it was unfortunate. We didn't have money, to go to school and have school clothes. I had to get my tail up and go to work. First job I had was farm work. We were throwing hay and alfalfa.
Yeah, you cut tobacco?
Cut tobacco, hanging tobacco,
Good old fun times.
Yeah, but if I didn't go to work, then I didn't eat. I mean, it was that extreme. I didn't eat, man. So, like, I learned early on to get up off my rear end and go to work. And back then I was making $5 an hour.
That was what, in 2000? How old are you?
42.
You're 42?
42,
man, you look like you're 35, 36.
So I was 12 years old when I first went to work. But, I mean, the kids today are on a game console. That's just not something that I had.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of that too, man. When Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out. Oh, dude, like all-nighter, bro,
I'm not going to be at work tomorrow.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I got some camping to do.
Right.
But nah, man, it's just like, I feel like you just got to push people, man. And I feel like we could do a lot as a society to get people to, kind of get up their tails and do something with their life. And, every time I meet somebody, I've got people like, oh, man, you're lucky. Like, no, I'm not lucky, bro. Like, I'm coming from cotton tobacco, man. Like, when RJ Corman used to, my dad's been working for RJ since 86, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So we cut tobacco for him back in the day when he, when he was growing in.
Sure.
And then just like the way he was checking his employees, you would hear the helicopter, man.
He would fly over top.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man. That's not intimidating at all.
I know, right? You start to go, I cut tobacco, bro. Like,
Right.
Yeah, you could hear from miles coming in, man. So if that's not inspiring, man, like, dang, like, it's possible. I mean, this guy, he didn't have the education either, man. He started like picking up trash. That's how he started. Not a lot of people know this, man. Like, he had a little truck and he would just pick up trash and started working for his uncle. And, if he made it happen, man, every time I used to, I grew up in Nicholasville. I went to East High and East Middle, East High.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Oh,
Yeah.
you're a baby. You're a baby, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, trying to be like you when I grow up.
That's
man.
no way.
So, just driving, going like, I would like in the bus, I would look at that anger every day, man. Like, damn, man, must be nice.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I guess everybody's got to find, I mean, who knows who will ever touch that. But you could try.
I'm striving. I'm striving. I think what you were talking about with RJ Corman and the way that he started out picking up trash, and then he went and got a bulldozer and started doing some excavation, and then before you know it, he's signed on multi-million-dollar contracts with the railroad.
Katrina is what kind of bumping up, man. I didn't know he was billing he was billing the government $500,000 an hour.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you...
For Katrina?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like, he sent this whole massive, like, pile of workers and machinery. Obviously, he's got the railroad, so he can, you know... I mean, dude, look at those numbers.
Well,
I mean,
those are the first ones that was able to even get in there, though, was the railroad, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, you know, that's the first thing you gotta fix. The railroad.
$500,000 an hour.
An hour, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even wrap my head around those numbers, man.
Yeah.
What is it? 12 hours? I don't know. I don't know if they're working 12 hours a day. I mean, they're probably working 24/7. Dude.
$6 million a day
That's crazy.
Is that it? No, man, it's more than that.
for the 12 hours.
So if you're doing 24, I'm sure they were doing 24-hour shifts, like 24 hours.
I'm sure he was billing
So
them for it.
That's $12 million a day.
That's $12 million a day, man.
Jesus.
Ridiculous.
They had this other contract to where they would fly in on a derailment or something, which was stupid. So if a train went off the tracks, then they would call RJ in, and I mean, it was just stupid money. So they just had them on a we'll give you $100 million a year and you're on call just to come out. Wouldn't that be nice? There's contracts out there like this, guys. I've been looking into it. Excuse me. Go to sam.gov.
Yeah.
They're federal contracts. And you can, this is where I got this information from, was War Dogs. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, with the guns. And
With the
everything.
guns. So,
Oh, yeah.
have you seen that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Love that actor.
It is a good movie. So
Jonah Hill. Yeah.
yeah. So that was a true story. So they took and just scraped the bottom of the barrel, what all these other bigger general contractors didn't want. Breadcrumbs, if you will.
Yeah.
And said, hey, I want these breadcrumbs that ended up ultimately being several $1 million. And this is so sam.gov, just, go in there and take a look at it. There's some federal contracts there that we would be able to get our hands involved in and make some really good money. Residential is, we can make a living.
Yeah.
But it's tough.
There's another level that you gotta.
It's another level. And that's what I'm trying to get to, is another level to leave some something for my kids. I had to get this from nothing. So I want to be able to leave something to my kids. And it's not necessarily, of course, I want to be comfortable, but just a sense of accomplishment to be able to go in and build something that's, sustainable and able to take care of my family for the rest of their life.
And it looks like you're doing it well, man.
Thank you.
I mean, but then again, to reach those levels, you're gonna have to have the infrastructure. I can never say that word.
Me neither. Me either. I wrote it down here. I don't know if I spelled it right. So
Man, you were born here. Look at it.
I know.
Come on, bro.
I know.
But yeah, man, it's reaching that other level is you got to take on the crumbs first, though.
Yeah, man. I like crumbs.
Yeah, me too.
I like crumbs.
Yeah, that's why I was heavy, bro. But it is what it is. But
Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap this up. This has been great, man. I appreciate you coming out, Angel.
Thanks for having me back, man.
For sure. Maybe we can have you come back out at some other time.
Hey, man, 3 years from now, when Corner Store's taking on those government jobs, I want to come out.
I got you. I got you.
Thanks for being on the show, Angel.
Hey, thanks, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it a lot.
This has been the Download Success Podcast at downloadmysuccess.com. Go like, share, and subscribe now. For more information on Angel at United Contracting, please visit unitedcontractingky.com. New episodes every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.